Just turn my screen on. There you go. There you go.
Hello.
So been a
Well,
busy
I
day
feel
for
like,
you?
oh yeah, it was busy work day, and then I attended someone's Zoom at 5:30, and then I made a couple of adjustments to my presentation. Um,
Yeah.
got that feedback right away, so I was able to apply it.
Right. This is a good platform, a good exercise, right? I think you can always all of us can adapt and change. So
Totally, completely.
yeah.
Okay, well let's just get started because I feel like you were the
Okay,
only
yeah,
one that
sure.
RSVP'd anyways. Okay, so as you know, for my media enhanced learning tool, I'm going to be talking about Pinterest. By the way, my name is Jessica. A little bit about myself. My background is in fashion design. I graduated with my degree in 2017, and I currently work as a color designer at Aritzia. So yeah, a lot of the things that I'm going to be talking about might be a little bit leaning towards design,
Yeah.
but I'm going to try to relate it to all industries and all professions. What about you? Why don't you introduce yourself? Oh, Jenny's on too as well.
Yeah. Didn't really work. So sorry about that. So
Oh, don't worry about it. Chris, do you want to introduce yourself?
yeah. Hi, my name is Chris Brown. I live
Hi. Hi, Jess. Oh, sorry. Go
Hi,
ahead.
Jenny. Hi, Jenny. Yeah. Again, my name is Chris Brown. I live in Vancouver. I've been for many years. And I operate and manage hotels in the Lower Mainland. I've been for a number of years, something that I enjoy and have a passion for. I joined the PIDP to look at developing more online curriculums and, get a little more experience and knowledge, right? In our kind of business, everything is done for you. So this is a little different. So I'm kind of doing it for myself, but it's a fun thing. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. I actually attended Jenny's presentation earlier today. I'm glad that you could join. Do you want to introduce yourself so Chris can know who you are?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Jenny, and I work in the field. Probably not my options are up.
Okay, that was a little broken, but I think hopefully Chris was able to hear you a little bit.
Sorry, Jenny, I couldn't hear you. I think I lost you there.
Yeah, so I work in the dental hygiene background. I'm currently not a teacher yet. Yeah.
That's totally okay. I have only taught periodically throughout COVID online, but PIDP was kind of there for me to kind of dip my toes in to see if this is the world that I, potentially see myself growing my career in. But it was great to meet you guys. Before I just get started, I just wanted to mention the Creative Commons license for my presentation is BY or BY. So that just means that if anyone is using this presentation, they just need to credit me. Okay, so again, the media tool that I'm going to be talking about today is Pinterest. This is a great tool. We're going to go into quite a bit. I've kind of jam-packed my presentation, and I'm excited to show you guys what it's all about. Here we go. Okay, so firstly, I just want to do a little land acknowledgement. I just want to acknowledge that we are gathered today on the territorial and ancestral and unceded territory of the Musqueam people. Today's agenda is going to be, we just went through getting to know a bit about you and me. We're going to go through excite and motivate, educate. There's some stats and engagement things that I wanted to share, overall evaluation, and then I'll share some resources and we'll do some Q&A at the very end. Okay, so Pinterest is a visual discovery engine for finding ideas like recipes, home and style inspiration, and more. The way when I was introduced to Pinterest was kind of like that it's a really, really, really fancy Google. You can search for something and you're going to get more aesthetically pleasing or more curated, like-minded individuals contributing imagery that focuses to what you're looking for. So you guys can see my dual screen, correct?
Yes.
Okay, amazing. So on this side, I'm going to be walking through some Pinterest things and have the slideshow on the left side. So this is my home page. Now, my home page will be different than your home pages because this has been curated to what I look for when I am on Pinterest. So just scrolling a bit, you can see, like, I've been looking at little art tattoo ideas. I've been searching a lot of home decor. Because I'm in the fashion industry, there's like a lot of different fashion posts because I use this to find inspiration quite a bit. I'm a big foodie, so you'll see a lot of food on my pages. I love animals, so you'll also see that. And that is what is being curated on this page for me. Again, I use this a lot for inspiration for my design job and my role on the color team. So a lot of what I look at is color. So that's my curation of my homepage. It's perfectly recognized what I'm interested in. And as the Explore page does on your Instagram or the For You page does on TikTok is what this homepage does on Pinterest. The thing that I like about this the most is that it feels like it knows me the best because it's really taking in what I am searching and the boards, which I'm going to go into next, that I'm creating. So that's your homepage, your curated algorithm. You can create boards on Pinterest. So you can see my boards here. I have a shopping list. I have jewelry. I have a hairstyle board. I have recipes, so many different boards that I've created through Pinterest. And this is where I save all the ideas and images that I want to. It's really exciting because there is a social media presence about Pinterest that I think is a little undermined. You can add friends, you can share, you can repost, you can like, you can do all those fun things. But I think the focus of Pinterest is really focusing on the imagery rather than those social media type of feelers of how many likes does this have or who has the most followers. It's not really what it's about. It's really about the images and what you're trying to find on Pinterest, which I think is a bit more exciting and a bit more real. And lastly, it's really easy to use. You can use it. I'm using it on the web app. You can download an app on your tablet or your iPhone. You can also install a plugin so that every time you go to a different, say I just go Google Images and I'm looking for a cat, just say, I can actually click images. And as I hover over an image, it should have a little red button that says pin. And I would click that, it would take me to Pinterest and I could pin it to my board. So I can search on, I could save images that I've created myself to Pinterest. So that's just a little bit about Excite and Motivate. This is a really great application and it's really, really fun, fun to use. A little bit more about boards before I go to the next slide. I just wanted to share. So this, for example, is my board of recipes. And you can see how the images are a bit more interesting than you would just find on a plain Google search. There's like really enticing captions on the photos. If I click the photo, most of the time it has a note about it, and especially because it's the recipe, it has the recipe in there. So I don't need to go to another website if I don't want. All the information has been put in here by the person that created this pin. And this is all saved to one board, and you can see you can add videos. Yeah, there's a lot of creation involved. Okay, next. The next slide I have is educate. Is that right? The next one? No, educate. That's right. So the really great thing about Pinterest for learners is that they can really discover a lot of different things. They can create pins, like I said, by uploading what they'd like or sharing what they'd like. You can collaborate. So this button right here allows me to add collaborators to my board. I click invite, it sends them an email and a message through the application, and they're prompted to collaborate on this board with me. Now, the reason that this is so great for students is because you can have group projects and share ideas, brainstorm. I have a little bit more of that later on in the presentation, but it really helps with the collaboration. And I think that's a huge part of education. When I was in university, I took this course in my fashion design program, and it was about draping fabric. This is an example of one of my peers' work that was in my class with me. So we essentially had to create a photo journal of the process of draping a bodice bustier, so a top garment for a women's design. So if I click onto one of these images, this is a photo that my peer has taken. You can see the details which she needed to include in the image. And she was also asked to write a little description of her process. So she was able to do all of this on Pinterest, have it be uploaded to this board. That board was shared with our instructor. And so every week our instructor would just go on our Pinterest board and see if we had done our work and the process and the notes that we had taken. It was a really, really creative way to document something. I'd never done something like this before, especially for school purposes. And I thought it was such a clever way to make the process a bit easier instead of doing a printout journal, doing a Word document. It's a bit more fun, especially since you can add your friends and there is that social media presence on there. Another thing that's really, really useful for this type of application during school is formulating ideas. So there was another board I had here. So a lot of the time when we are drawing in fashion school, or if you're in any program and you're looking up infographics or how to communicate graphs, things like that a lot better, you'll usually go and try and find examples. Now, I feel like the people using Pinterest are very like-minded. And once you find your little hub of like, okay, the algorithm gets me, they know what I'm looking for, as you search, you will find things that just start relating to you. So there's obviously a lot of forms here in this croquis. Croquis just means dress form. So it's kind of what we would sketch on top of for doing dresses or garments. But you can see that she's been able to collect all these different suggestions of poses that she can fashion illustrate over top. And what's really helpful that say we click on this, oh, okay, I have one pregnancy image that I want to draw on top of. I like the style, I want to find more like it. If you click this image and scroll down, you'll get suggestions. So this happens with every pin that you click. You scroll down and there are more and more suggestions. Very, very handy. Okay, next we have some stats and engagement that I wanted to go over. And I was looking up stats for Pinterest, and I didn't really know what I was looking for when I was doing this. And I learned some pretty interesting things. So Pinterest has 450 million monthly active users, which is a lot. I mean, Instagram is probably like quadruple that, but I think that that's still a lot of people that are actively on Pinterest. Pinterest has 23 million Gen Z users. I found that really interesting too, as I start to approach a career in education and learning about what kind of students I'm going to have in my classes or what kind of people I'm going to be working with. A lot of them will be Gen Z. So I think that this is a really good tool to kind of mildly introduce you to the flavor of Generation Z. 85% of pinners use the platform to plan new projects. I thought that was a really great fact because this is a project working platform. You can be creative, but you can also be very methodical and look up different types of things. For example, healthcare and hygiene. You could look up different types of infographics, how to communicate properly, especially with hotel chain management. Maybe you need a graph or a symbol or an image that really communicates what you're trying to say to your clientele. And that's what Pinterest can be really great for. I had listed a couple ideas to engage learners. So I mentioned photo journals, peer feedback. So you can also click on a pin and then add a comment. Digital student portfolios. So whether or not that personal imagery that you're using, creating documents and then posting on there, so many different ways to show your work through Pinterest. Research projects, group projects because of that collaborate function, also team brainstorming because of that collaborate function is really, really awesome. And then the last thing that I wanted to go over was evaluation and how does this work? So discovering, searching and saving your interests. In terms of evaluation, that makes it easy for the educator to come along and say, okay, this is a curated board. They've really done their research. I can see that she's clicked into that and looked at some of these pictures. How does it relate back? Being able to create and upload your own pins with notes and links and descriptions also make it easy for your instructor to see how it all is working inside your mind. The collaboration, I know that I keep mentioning it, it is a really fun function. And I think I love that function so much is because I've used it in my professional industry, not just in school. So I've seen how it works when you have team members with different, hierarchy of positions, so you're all collaborating and working together, and you can end up on something really, really cool. This is a great tool for communication. You're encouraged to message others and share and see, and you might have some pins from the same user and you would click on their profile and it would take you to their page and then you can explore from there. Also with brands and different companies, they could have their own brand pages and that might lead you to find something that you never thought you would find. Overall, the participation aspect, looking for thoughtful new ideas and commenting on such findings can inspire the evaluation of using this tool. Okay, that was a lot of talking. Q&A time. Any questions, thoughts, comments that you guys have about Pinterest?
Yeah, I did Pinterest before, but I didn't know that you could actually do collaborations, and I never think it was, that type of communication was ever involved. I did know that you can create different little, I guess it's kind of like bookmarks a little bit, right? You can create your little bookmarks and then you can just automatically share that, which is really interesting.
Totally. Another really cool function is that you can create secret boards. So previous to my job at Aritzia, I was working at Lululemon, and there's obviously a lot of confidentiality that happens there. And so this is an example of a random board that I have that I put in secret. So this little lock actually means that I am the only person that can view it. And you can have boards like that with collaborators that you can also make secret. So that's pretty exciting. Also, I feel like over time, Pinterest has been around for 10 or so years. So the actual function of Pinterest has changed over time a little bit. That collaboration feature, I think, has probably only shown up within the past 5 years, I would say. So yeah, and there's so many more tools that I'm still learning. Like you can organize your pins. So you can reorder them if you want to see, maybe if you have an Instagram grid and you want everything to look so beautiful, you can arrange all your photos. It's a really, really clever, function.
Yeah, just pretty good, really interesting. It's not something that I've used. Usually in our kind of business, you have a marketing department does all the stuff, but it's nice to see, what goes into designing something like this. You also just answered my question in terms of having a private board, a confidential board there. And the second question to that is, you can allow people to access that if you choose to. And the corresponding question is, do you put any of your personal private work on those boards?
Yes. So first of all, yes, you can invite people to any type of boards, whether private or not. One thing that I learned recently, and this is why I was sharing my peers' schoolwork board with you, is that once you delete a board, you can't get it back. So I had deleted because I probably did all of those draping projects in 2015. And I had gone through a little bit of a refresh and I deleted something. So you can't revive anything that you delete off of here. And those were personal images. And I personally don't upload a lot of personal imagery on here. I do think this tool would be really, really great for like a portfolio purpose if you wish to kind of have different, I guess, creative people looking at things. Something that I do for my personal classes is one of the first assignments that they have is that they have to find a TikTok tutorial or a YouTube tutorial and recreate it in the program that I teach. So I have a board that I share with them and have examples of tutorials that they can copy. So I know that was kind of going off on a tangent, but there's a lot of different uses for the platform rather than like not just collecting images, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yes, it does. The last question would be in terms of social media. Everyone is a little concerned about, safety, security, and hackers and stuff. Like these things, what kind of safety resources or tools you put in your Pinterest site so it doesn't get kind of hacked or someone doesn't take it over?
I would say that there are some good resources within the app on privacy. I remember when this platform first launched, it was by waitlist. So only a limited number of users were able to access the app. So I think even from the early days of what Pinterest was, they really sort of fine-tuned their security almost. So here's a little bit about privacy and data. It's probably not too far off from something like Facebook and Instagram, but I do feel like it is a little bit more safe, if that makes sense, because you're not really, a lot of it is just sharing content. Like everyone's just sharing everything that's already existing rather than something like Instagram where I'm taking a photo, you're taking a photo, Jenny's taking a photo. It can be previously taken things, professionally taken things, graphics. There's so many graphics and artwork. I feel like it's made for makers a little bit more. And then we have the security and logins.
Yeah.
So you can do a two-factor authentication. You obviously don't need to put a profile photo or have a very fancy username or anything like that. Yeah, you can keep it simple.
Yeah, awesome presentation. If it was me and if I logged into your site, I think I'm going to be stuck there just going after pages after pages after pages, right? So yeah.
Yeah,
pretty
it's
exciting.
definitely, it's addicting, but it's also like, I think with the field that I'm in, when I'm trying to find a specific, blue skirt, it can get a bit exhausting. And you're like, oh my goodness, how many more pages am I going to go through to try to find a blue skirt? But, if you guys have any suggestions of what you want me to search on here right now that's related to your industries, I'd be happy to do that and show you if anything interesting pops up.
Wow. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, of course. All right. So thank you. Thank you for listening. I listed my references down below. Those are mostly just where I found my stats. Yeah, I think it was really great chatting with you guys. I hope you guys learned something new today. Yeah, thank you for coming.
Okay. Thanks, Jess. Yeah, nice to meet you,
No
Jen.
problem.
Bye.
Yeah, nice to meet you as well. Thank you, Jessica. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.